All right, I'm going to try to one take this because I do want to get some course playing today. Um, but it's mostly a rest day, so I wanted to spend my time doing something productive. So, I guess introductions. My name is Clint. I've been playing disc golf for 10 months now. I have a 74 mile per hour standstill, about 530, 540, 550, whatever you want to say it is. I've hit 530 in like real world conditions. Sure, if I went out and threw some distance lines in a tailwind, I could probably break that by quite a bit. Either way, that's why I think I'm kind of qualified to talk about standstills. Yeah. So, I guess the first thing to talk about is like overthrows forming the whip video. So, a lot of the stuff I talk about today is going to be similar to the forming the whip video. And I know it's kind of controversial, like some of the things that were said in there. A lot of people have some arguments about it. But at the very least, I think that it's what you should be focusing on in your throw. I think swing path is one of the easiest ways to add distance. The body kind of naturally braces as you throw harder, right? It doesn't want to let you just fly forward and on your face. So it's going to help you kind of maintain some type of balance if you have any kind of athleticism at all. And if you do it a lot, it's going to learn to help maintain balance. So I think working on your swing plane and getting a strong upper body throw is going to not only improve your game very quickly, but it's going to lead to a better brace in the long run. Because if you get your counter right in the right place, you have a strong throw with your upper body, your lower body's kind of going to do what it's supposed to do. Bracing is a natural movement after all. And I think focusing on it so heavily, right, just to learn to throw the disc is kind of a misstep for a lot of people. We end up focusing only on our hips and leaving all of our upper body kind of out there doing kind of whatever, and it results in tons of bad habits. So yeah, I like the forming the whip video. This is kind of going to be a lot of the same stuff, just with my twist on it and maybe my own tips. So let's get to it. So we'll start at the legs. The way I think you should learn to throw standstill, and the way I think you should learn to throw in general, is standstill. But we'll say if you just want to work on your standstill, this is what I feel like you should be doing. So the first thing is your lead foot, right? To start, I think it shouldn't be open, right? It should be either parallel to the target or slightly close to the target, right? What this is going to do is it's going to allow you to put more power into your heel and the side of your foot so that you can brace your body from blowing over the brace, right? And bracing your body is what's gonna give you a solid platform to swing from, okay? So with the front foot, if you have like some lines, you can even draw lines if you want to. My net's here. If you have some lines, either this way or this way, doesn't matter. For me, I'm gonna put my front foot like on these two boards. I'm going to try to keep it parallel, and this is going to be my front foot's lane, right? My front foot's lane. You'll see later where the disc lane is, but that's all we're going to worry about on the front foot. We're going to keep it slightly bent to start the throw, and the first thing we're going to learn to do is just throw a hyzer. A hyzer is the easiest throw because not only is it like the most bent forward, so it allows the use of the most muscles, it also puts our counterweight, our rear leg, where it would go in a run-up throw. So in a run-up throw, you have a bunch of momentum. Your rear leg keeps moving as you transition weight onto your front leg and start bracing. So the rear leg ends up going slightly behind you, or at least kind of here, right, in a diagonal line. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our counterweight, or our rear leg, pretty far behind us with a big stagger. This is the first way. We're going to go over how to throw more flat shots later, but this is how we start. Boom, front leg parallel, slightly bent, rear leg behind me. My spine is in line with my rear leg, okay? So if your rear leg's here and you're standing like this, that's not good, right? Now we have this big arc from our rear leg to our upper body. We want a straight line. We want these pieces, this leg, torso, both arms, to spin independently of our front leg, basically. That's kind of bracing. You can argue about that if you want. So we're going to start right here on our tiptoe. Right, we're never going to go on the heel of our back foot ever. We're going to allow the heel of our front foot to be down when we brace, but you can also be on the tiptoe or like most of the weight in your toe when you start the throw in your front foot and then shift to your heel. So boom, parallel front foot. Our rear leg, you can see how close they are in a line. I'm not here, right? I'm here. I'm almost right next to each other in two separate lanes. Boom, boom. And then my upper body is on the same line as my rear leg. That's pretty much it for the lower body. We're going to keep a slight bend in our knees. To start the throw, we're going to throw. Okay? I'm not going to talk about the hips that much. And the reason is I think your hips are going to naturally do what they're supposed to do when you get your swing plane correct, get your counterweight in the right place. So we're not going to talk about it too much. The abs. Abs do help a lot in the throw, in my opinion, right? But once again, it's a pretty natural movement to swing your torso around. So we don't want to focus on things that our body's going to naturally do for us, okay? We're going to focus a lot on the upper. So we're going to get our feet in place. We're going to focus on the upper body. I like to teach like a knee standstill style to beginners. So let's start with the swing path. So your nipples make a line through your body, right? A plane. They talk about the hula hoop all around you. You can choose a spot based on what's comfortable for you. Some people are a little higher. You see Matty O throwing pretty high, where some people are much lower. You see like I think Eagle's pretty low, Drew Gibson's pretty low, Gannon Burr, Gary Gerthy. A lot of people are quite a bit lower. What I kind of want you to focus on is being a little bit higher. And the reason for that is we want our swing plane, right? We want the disc to stay on the swing plane the whole time in like a vertical height, right, to start. There will be a time when you can reach back a little lower to eject a little higher and basically tilt the swing plane like this. But for now, let's focus on a flat swing plane and kind of keeping the disc on that swing plane. So we're going to draw a line, let's say right under your pecs or your nipples or right above your ribs, anywhere in this band where you're powerful. Right? If you were elbowing someone, it would be somewhere up here, not down here and not up here. Right? We want somewhere where we're powerful. So we're going to think of a spot here in this band. This is going to be our swing plane. We're going to start the disc on that swing plane. Okay? So that's the first thing. Boom. Disc starts here. For me, I'm going to use right below my pec line. I'm going to start the disc flat, right? And flat in regards to my body, right? So if I'm tilted, right, I don't want the disc flat like this. I want the disc flat like this, right? That's my swing plane. Hula hoop would go this way now. So my elbow and my disc need to come down a little bit to match my body, okay? So we're starting the disc here on this swing plane. We're matching the angle of our torso. We'll talk about the hand first. So you want to take a grip, right, that one allows you to pour the coffee some. So I like to use a modified fan grip, but you can also use a power grip. That's fine as well. But you want to take something that allows you to hold on to the disc pretty freaking hard. Okay, we're not going to focus too much on squeezing the disc, but you want to at least have it in a position where it's hard to take it out from your hand when you try to stop it, right? So we don't want to, like, if we fan grip like this, right, that's not that strong. Someone could rip the disc out of our hand. We want to have some hooks, right? At least, a couple hooks. Like, I modified fan, but you can see my pointer finger and my pinky finger with my ring finger assisting have a bunch of like hold on the disc. You cannot pull this disc out from my hand. That's the first thing. We'll talk about the wrist. So the wrist is kind of a passive motion, right? That'll get better with time. We want to I prefer to start it curled. I know Bedanza actually talked about this in his last video, but I think he's right. Then that starting it curled, right? When you reach back, it's going to extend. But when it extends, it's now flat. So when I pull back in, my body's natural tendency is to pull back to the spot I started from. And that's kind of one of the things we're using to help us with our throw. So we're going to start like we want to look in the pocket, okay? So the power pocket, the square, box drill, that's how we're going to start. We want our wrists slightly cocked, right? The disc on our swing path in line with our torso. And this is the thing I think most people overlook. The elbow is up, right? If my elbow is down here, like I can never get this disc in line with my torso unless my wrist looks like this. This is not good. This is not powerful, right? We want a nice powerful position where our wrist moves like this. It doesn't like moving up and down very much. It has a slow range of motion and not many muscles to help it. So we want to keep things kind of in this line, elbow up, shoulders, right? This one's kind of a complicated one. There's a few things. So one, there's protraction of the shoulders, right? Which is tightening. I'm stretching my upper back muscles, right? Some people say it's connecting the shoulders so that when one moves, the other has to. I think that's less of a thing than just making space, right? If we protract our shoulders forward, we get this bubble of space in front of us, like we're hugging something, right? We get this bubble of space in front of us where the disc has room to get in tight without hitting our chest, right? And you can see when I protract my shoulders, now my pocket is this like super coiled up, Thomas Gilberty, like going deep type pocket, as opposed to if I retract my shoulders, now my pocket has a very hard time. You see my elbow is no longer forward, it's now back because I've retracted my shoulder blades. So this is one thing I think more people should focus on. Don't retract your shoulder blades and don't extend your lower back, okay? We want to stay abs a little tighter, right? Shoulders a little forward, relaxed, kind of shake it out. Disc in position, shoulder slightly protracted, right? You don't need to be like forcing it out super hard, but slightly protracted, where this is all gonna happen naturally, okay? So we talked about hand, wrist, elbow. The focus on the elbow is what I think most people miss the most. Tons of newer players kind of drop their elbow, or even at the end of the throw, drop their elbow, and then externally rotate the disc out, or end up with swooping issues. So we're gonna keep our elbow high, shoulders slightly protracted. Both shoulders can even be slightly protracted, right? Abs down a little bit, okay? So the end position that we end up in is boom, 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 wrist cocked. The rear hand, right, can just be by your side. We're gonna use it to coil, and then it's up to you kind of what you wanna do in the throw. I don't like focusing on the rear arm at all, basically, because it's never done much for me. And I don't really think it's that important to either put it behind you or get it across your belly or smash it in tight. For me, it just causes over rotation. If you have, I guess, cutting off the pocket. So if you have a throw where you feel like your shoulder's coming in, it's because you're using your rear shoulder too much, right? You need to just leave it nice and relaxed kind of behind you so that as you pull, the spin happens a little slower and we're able to get into a deep pocket position. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I think we're ready to throw. If you guys have questions, leave them in the comments. I'm also going to post this on the Discord, so if you have questions there, you can ask me directly. What we're going to do is we're going to start in this kind of Niklas Antilla position. Protracted, slight bend in the wrist, right? Nice and loose. Elbow up, abs down, counter weights behind us. Boom. We're here. And that's all we're gonna do is we're gonna keep a straight line with the disc, right? So we're gonna coil our body to find out where your reach back should be, right? Coil your body with the disc in the pocket, right? So this is me coiled. I'm just gonna reach out. And if you notice, that's a straight line, right? From where the disc will be in the pocket. And then as I swing, the disc stays, right? The width of the disc, if you drew a line, the disc is only gonna move on that line, keeping the line inside the width of the disc. That's kind of the way I like to look at it. And it kind of goes along with the forming the whip idea, kind of. So boom, we're gonna coil and reach back on this straight line. One thing you can think about is, I'm throwing on my net has a pocket, right? The pocket's there. I want my reach back to be directly in a line with that pocket. So if I drew a line through my target, I want my reach back to be directly on that line. This is a really good way of hitting the gaps too. I think Connor O'Reilly talks about this in one of his latest videos, but really good way to like help your accuracy is to just, boom, I want to throw there. I'm going to reach back exactly the opposite of it. Okay? So boom, 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 boom. Keep the off arm kind of relaxed by your side. We're going to reach back. We're going to come back to the starting position. This is why we're starting in this position. It's the position we want to end up in for our throw to be good. So we're starting there to say, body, this is where I want you to be. Then we're reaching back, returning to that position, right? Don't force the back shoulder in, return to that position, and then rotate out, basically. And you don't need to think about rotation, just pull the disc in a straight line and your body's gonna rotate for you. So we'll try one. Super low power. We're here, we're Nicolas in Antilla style. Protraction, wrist slightly curled, back, forward. Okay? So that's 63.1. I used zero muscle, right? I didn't yank the disc. I didn't do any crazy hip snap. I didn't create lag with my hips, none of that. That's all I did was, right, take the disc on a straight line and keep it on a straight line. I set myself up correctly. We'll try again. I'm gonna slightly close the front foot this time because that's how I usually throw. We're gonna throw a nice hyzer. Let's see what the hyzer on the last one was. 35.3. In line, everything's good. Wrist slightly cocked. $62.5. So you can see, even with low effort, and I'll do one where I just go through the motions to basically use zero muscle for you guys. Boom. $64.2. Okay? It is not hard to hit 65 miles an hour if you just keep things smooth and keep your swing path in a straight line. Let your body just move around your arm going, right? You don't need to be thinking about all of this like mechanics of this and that and blah. Just work on everything's set up nicely. We preset as much as we possibly can so our body doesn't have to think. It already remembers. We were here. That's all we did was pull back and go straight back there. It knows how to do these things if you just do reps of this, right? So we're here. That one I think I 36.8 degrees of hyzer. So these are spike hyzers, right? What we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring this back foot in just a hair and then out, away from our front foot a hair. And you're gonna see this affects my counterweight a lot. I'm probably gonna go over my brace more, right? Because my back leg is not in a good position to balance my body after the throw. So we're gonna come up and out a little bit, should lower our hyzer a little bit. And you can see my torso doesn't want to be quite as bent forward, it wants to be more upright. So boom, we're here. Hopefully it's a little less hyzer. Yeah, 30. That's 65.6 miles an hour. Okay? So, how do we throw flat? Well, we just need to keep moving our rear leg back and kind of back away from the target and closer to the front foot. So in the end, right, we'll look more like this if we want to throw something flat. I'll throw a flat one for you guys and you'll see the difference in the brace. So here, we're here now, my torso is upright, right? In my opinion, this is a less powerful position. Why? Because let's over exaggerate. If my foot's exactly in line with my front foot, right? When I throw, everything wants to come to the left of my brace. Where when my leg is back here, right, Everything wants to stay in line and let my brace handle it all. So we're gonna, boom. I like to be maybe like right here, back toe in line with my front heel. My torso is much more up right now. Aim at our target, slightly closed foot. We're gonna pull exactly the same. On this line, I can see that I'm flat here, boom. So for me, flat is like 10 degrees of hyzer. For you, that might be different, but I have enough power to where I can throw everything on 10 degrees or more of hyzer and throw every shot, because I can turn over, you know, discs much easier. But for you, you might need to throw 0. And if you do, you might need to be here, like halfway up your front foot, throwing like this, right? Where I like to throw here, 10 degrees. I'll try to keep this one flat for you. We're just gonna go nice and relaxed. That's 67.8. That's on 13.9 degrees of hyzer. All right, so you can see it does not take much. I don't need to be wrenching the disc down with my lat and dropping my elbow. I don't need to be rotating like crazy, bringing my back shoulder in, dropping my rear leg, none of that stuff. I'm just here, nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Little knee class antilla, target, line, boom. 67.2, 23 degrees of hyzer. So focus on, if you need to change your hyzer, right? Focus on this back foot in your standstill. It's gonna cause different things. If I wanna throw an anhyzer, I don't usually throw these, so hopefully this goes well, but if I wanna throw an anhyzer, you see how now my back leg is kinda causing my front shoulder to be almost backward. You'll see, if I just throw, that's gonna be maybe 0, 3.2, 68.7 miles an hour. And you guys saw how much effort that was. It was very low effort, right? We'll try one more of those, a little harder maybe. Nope, 66.8. So you see, I tried to use more power and it caused me to throw slower. It's not about yanking, right? If I want to throw a really powerful shot, sure, I'm putting a little oomph into it, right? But it's about keeping my mechanics sound while I do that. So hopefully this helped you guys, and yeah, if you have questions, please ask me. I love helping people. Like, I do some coaching, but I don't charge any money for it. Like, I'm passionate about helping people who want to learn and want to get better and are willing to put in the work. So if you have questions, let me know. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this thing since I kind of just got sponsored, and you know, I want to show manufacturers that I am worth something. So thank you.